When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts.
Charlie Kirk was shot at an event on a college campus in Utah.
Charlie Kirk, one of America's loudest political voices, was shot. He was a conservative podcaster, debater, and a close ally of President Donald Trump. That day, Charlie had just started a new campus tour, and his first stop was at Utah Valley University in Orem. But little did anyone know, it would end in a tragedy that would shake the country and the world at large. He never ran for office or held an official government position. Still, Kirk rose from being an unknown activist from the suburbs of Chicago to becoming a voice for the modern conservative movement.
We graduate from high school this coming June. We're handed a diploma. That's also an invoice for hundreds of thousands of dollars that my generation is going to have to pay off.
Charlie Kirk was a right-wing political activist and one of America's loudest political voices. Charlie began his political journey in 2010 at Wheeling High School in Chicago. He caught the attention of the media in 2012 when, as a high school senior, he wrote in Breitbart News that liberal textbooks were indoctrinating high school students. He also appeared on Fox News around that time, where he discussed the youth movement and how students inherit generational debts from their college experiences.
We here at SOS Liberty believe that if we do not change the conversation back to us, the kids that are going to have to inherit this debt, that our economy will be stagnant for years to come. And our website, we have really interesting things. We have videos, pictures trying to inspire the youth, SOSLiberty.com, that has a wide variety of youth from all across the country jumping onto our cause.
Later in 2012, at an early age of 18, Charlie Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA with activist Bill Montgomery. Turning Point USA is a nonprofit organization aimed at promoting conservative values among college students. The early days of the organization were a struggle. Charlie Kirk, who was fresh out of high school at the time and was living in his car, would travel across campus, spreading the news and introducing the new movement. Charlie Kirk briefly attended Harper College, but eventually dropped out to become a full-time conservative activist.
Had trouble finding a summer job, as is Mike, in a lot of different regards. A lot of kids are feeling the effects of what we like to call, with the Washington economy, with a lot of debt, plummeting small business, with higher regulation and high taxes. We're just trying to reinstitute the founding principles, free market, fiscal responsibility. SOS Liberty is a nonpartisan. We don't consider this a Republican versus Democrat issue.
He had the message, dedication, and charisma, and that earned him attention from established conservative figures and donors. He reached millions through social media and his podcast. The organization was growing gradually, but his big break came during the 2016 presidential election. Charlie Kirk grew up to become influential among college students and young voters. He was not just a debater, he was a voice, one that believed strongly in the American dream, and inspired a new movement of right-wing activists. Kirk frequented college campuses, speaking and taking questions from the audience in exchanges that often led to the viral videos you see online.
Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, together the largest conservative grassroots organizations in the country. Thanks to our work, I talk to a lot of young people on campuses, at our events, on my radio show, podcast, and social media. Said differently, I visit college campuses so you don't have to.
Charlie Kirk was popular for debating college students about abortion rights, climate change, transgender rights, traditional gender roles, immigration, and a host of other topics. He opposed abortion rights, downplayed climate change, and was known for his opposition to transgender rights. He frequently encouraged young people to rally around traditional gender roles, backed President Trump's mass deportation effort, and argued for Christian nationalism. He was a devoted Christian and spoke often about his faith, a strong champion of Christian values even in hostile environments. Charlie Kirk debated with love and respect, even in instances where the other party was being rude and disrespectful.
And now I'm not.
What does your hat say?
ICE.
What does that stand for?
Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Hey, don't touch it.
What are you doing?
Don't let her have her emotions, man. Listen.
Have a nice day.
He had organized and debated in several colleges across the country, but his 2025 Fall American Comeback Tour would turn out to be his last. On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk and his team arrived at Utah Valley University in Orem for his 2025 Fall American Comeback Tour. The tour involves a series of public events and debates, primarily targeting college campuses, to engage audiences in discussions about America's future and current political issues. It was a scheduled 2-month tour that would run through at least 14 college campuses, and Utah Valley University was the first stop. Before Kirk's arrival, about 3,000 people had stood waiting for the conservative activists near the Students' Union of the university. At the time the event started, spectators had filled up the seats and even spilled into the raised walkway, anywhere they could watch Kirk from. Around 12 p.m., when Charlie Kirk arrived, Kirk appeared in high spirits before the crowd of about 3,000 people, throwing hats to the attendees before speaking, a tradition he has always maintained in most of his rallies and debates. Just 10 minutes into the session, Charlie Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings when gunfire rang out. The bullet hit Kirk in his neck, and he immediately fell backwards into his left. Kirk was immediately carried out by security personnel to Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Utah. The conservative influencer had security measures put in place, but nobody could have predicted a sniper. The whole arena was in chaos. The students were provided police escorts, evacuated, and classes were canceled till further notice. The police began to receive several reports.
And let's be advised, UVU in Orem has had an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event. We're getting several calls. We're trying to get more information.
Maybe the CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask.
At this point, reactions began to pour in, including tweets from President Donald Trump and well-wishers, hoping and praying Kirk survives the assassination. A lot of people gathered outside the hospital to pray for Kirk. At exactly 4:40 p.m., President Trump posted that Charlie Kirk had succumbed to his injuries. Charlie Kirk left behind a wife, Erica Kirk, and 2 children. Immediately after the murder, the manhunt for Kirk's killer began.
With you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion.
In footage from the event, a person dressed in black could be spotted fleeing from the roof moments after the shot was fired. This individual is believed to be the assassin. The FBI also revealed that they tracked the killer's movements, the time they entered the school, and were seen ascending stairwells to get on a nearby roof just minutes before the assassination. The authorities released to the public photos of the suspect and a video in which the suspect can be seen climbing off the roof and running into the neighborhood. They also offered a reward of $100,000 for leads that could lead to the identification or apprehension of the suspect.
As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie.
However, all efforts to apprehend the shooter didn't yield much result. The FBI had initially brought 2 suspects into custody, but they were released shortly after. It's 24 hours and nobody has been brought into custody. Law enforcement chased every possible lead, but only one piece of evidence looked promising: a forearm print taken from the sniper's position. But even this would take time. The manhunt eventually came to an end when President Trump first announced that an arrest had been made, and they were working on identifying the suspect.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, okay?
It turned out that the suspect believed to have committed the assassination was a 22-year-old named Tyler Robinson. Tyler's father, a law enforcement veteran, recognized his son from surveillance footage and then encouraged him to turn himself in. According to reports, the father then informed a friend who in turn contacted the authorities and gave them the tip. The family friend was a youth pastor and a U.S. Marshals Task Force officer. That night, Tyler Robinson turned himself in at St. George, about 160 miles away from Utah Valley University. Authorities also interviewed Tyler Robinson's friend, who showed them a series of messages on the social media platform Discord, in which Robinson discussed obtaining a gun and changing outfits. The next day, the Utah governor broke the news to the public.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
The family said that Tyler had become more political lately and recounted a dinner table discussion where they discussed whether Kirk was spreading hate. At the recent dinner, Tyler spoke about how he didn't like Kirk's points of view and mentioned his upcoming visit to Utah Valley University. Tyler Robinson was a student of Utah Valley University on scholarship, but only attended the institution for one semester in 2021. From an early age, Tyler was obsessed with guns. In social media images obtained from the family's social media posts, the 22-year-old spent a lot of time around guns throughout his childhood and frequently attended shooting ranges and military events with his mother. In December 2017, a Facebook post from the parents showed Tyler being given a build-your-own rifle kit for Christmas. Tyler was only 14 years old at the time. In other images from the family's social media, Tyler could be seen posing with an M2 Browning .50 caliber machine gun, a scoped rifle, and in a third image holding a bazooka. But that was not all. There are images of his mother posing with a machine gun at military events. In images widely shared across social media, Tyler could be seen wearing shoes that matched those worn by the suspect in images earlier released by authorities during the manhunt. The motives for Tyler Robinson's actions still remain controversial. Public records revealed that the 22-year-old had in the past registered himself as a nonpartisan voter in Utah. His parents, on the other hand, are registered Republicans. However, bullet casings were inscribed with anti-fascist messages, which point to his possible involvement in leftist politics.
Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point."
A casing carried lyrics to an anti-fascist anthem, while other inscriptions displayed obvious references to online trolling humor. According to court affidavit, Tyler Robinson faces aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing bodily harm, and obstruction of justice charges. In the week following Charlie Kirk's death, a new discovery came to light. A report by Washington Post revealed that Tyler Robinson confessed to his friends in a Discord online chat group that he was behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This confession was sent to the group just 2 hours before he turned himself in. The suspect reportedly sent in a message that read, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything." The Utah governor has also hinted that he might face the death penalty.
I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of.
The tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk has raised questions about how the American political scene may be getting too dangerous, particularly the extent people can go to deal with someone who has an opinion different from theirs. Governor Spencer Cox had this message for both the right wing and the left wing.
We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse.
Charlie Kirk, before his tragic demise, advocated for civil discourse where violence is never an option.
What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When church starts happening, they fall apart. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. Whether it be the great genocide, the horrible genocides of the last 100 years, people stop talking with each other because they lose their humanity. I wish we could be here without having my hat thrown off and stuff, but what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Ironically, Charlie Kirk has become a victim of a trending culture he warned against and tried to curb. The question is, who is next?